evening. Welcome to Conversations with Gus. Wednesday night, July 29th. Two guests tonight, Paul Kodad. Paul, welcome to the thing. And Paul's a letter carrier, by the way. He used to work with me a long time ago. We're the same age, and he's still working. He has an issue with Faxon Field on the environmental issues or concerns of Faxon Field. He's done a lot of work in his history in Quincy and different things, community activist on a number of different projects, and we'll talk about the Faxon Field one tonight. Chris is with Parents for Pageant Field. They're against the Faxon Field site because of the location and the money that's already been spent to do pageants and stuff like that. And Chris has been on the show before with, who was the lady?
Maureen Keeley.
Maureen, what's her name? Keeley.
Keeley.
Now first, I've had you on the show a couple of times, Chris. Give us a little background, Paul, how you got involved in this stuff.
Okay. It's about 6 or so years ago, the proposal to build a high school on Faxon Field ran into considerable opposition, led by a Dr. Ross Edwards. Dr. Edwards asked me to join him, and at that point we successfully negotiated a settlement before the Department of Administrative Law Appeals to move the high school to the west to preserve the field, Faxon Field, for its environmental value. This was urged by Judge Mark Silverstein of the Department of Administrative Law Appeals. So that's how I became involved first in the Faxon Field site. Let me say that the fight to preserve Faxon Field has gone on for well over 25 years. In 1990, there was a settlement negotiated with the city, which the city ignored. So, to bring you up to date, when the Dr. Edwards and the city administration reached an agreement, this agreement was sanctioned by Judge Silverstein, Department of Administrative Law Appeals, was sanctioned by Elizabeth Kemble for the Department of Environmental Protection. I have been assured that this settlement will be honored if and when we must go into Norfolk Superior Court. As of the moment, the Quincy Conservation Commission issued an order of conditions which a group of citizens, led by myself, have appealed. We are waiting for the decision of the D.E.P. At the same time, this field, which is a three-part site, there's a swamp opposite Russell Park called Site 2, Faxon Field itself, which is Site 1, and the outfall at Broad Street, which is Site 3. All three of these areas are under the control of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The city is greatly at fault in failing as of this moment to apply to the Army Corps of Engineers for their review and approval of this site.
Now you do all this stuff yourself. You don't have any lawyers doing it. You do these appeals yourself.
I do it all pro se.
So it's you versus Jim Timmons right now.
That's right.
Okay. How do you get along with Jim?
We're cordial. We treat each other with a great deal of respect. We're adversaries that he has one side of an issue and I have the other. But we are cordial, as I was very cordial with the former city solicitor when I was fighting for Cobblestone, which was a success for those who know that how we stopped the development on C Street called Cobblestone. And that took 8 years in court.
Where are you now? Because I know Jim Timmons told Peter, the guy that helps me with my show, I couldn't do the show without Peter, that he wanted to come on my show, but he doesn't call me back. Because, make sure people, Peter and I helped Mayor Phelan put his show on. I work in the back with Peter, and Peter also helps Mayor Koch put his show on. Because he's a volunteer, and he help anybody. I'd help Koch put his show on if he asked me, but I don't think he's going to ask me. But this is a discussion show, so we do different things here. But where is the environmental stuff like you speak today? What's in status now? What's the issue right now?
The issue right now is that that a request for a superseding order of condition is before the DEP. Now, when finally the DEP issues that, they have two major options, or three. They can deny the right to build a track on Faxon Field. They can make modifications, or they can grant the right to build a track on Faxon Field. If we are disturbed by the action of the DEP, then we will appeal to an administrative judge higher than the DEP itself. And we will wait for that hearing to be concluded. And because so many people have fought so strenuously for so many years to preserve this site, if we are ultimately unsuccessful in any other venue, we will go into Norfolk Superior Court, as we did with the site called Cobblestone, and we'll fight the issue there. Also, if the city fails to obtain the Corps of Engineers approval, I will seek to have someone file in federal court to ensure that the rights of the citizens under the Wetlands Protection Act as enforced by the department, the Corps of Engineers, is followed.
Now, did they, at some point in time, try to cause you some problems with your job here?
It was rather interesting. About a month ago, on a Friday, I was taking some pictures on Faxon Field, and the next Monday, when I returned to work, the post office called and said they had had word that a letter carrier, namely Paul Kodad, was in the Y during working hours, which is directly across the street from Faxon Field. They didn't want to say I was taking pictures of Faxon Field. My boss laughed at the management of the post office, which knows me well since I'm one of their prime instructors for new letter carriers, and he said to them, well, that's perfectly all right if he was there. Friday and Saturday of last week were Paul's days off.
Well, you don't know who called, though.
No, I haven't found out who called the postmaster.
Okay. Hope we're not getting involved in any CIA activity here, Paul.